The phone rang as I was closing the butcher shop. An unfamiliar voice. Young, cocky. "I've got your daughter. Pretty little thing. You want her back? Tell me what I want to know." I listened to his smirk through the static. He didn't know the silence on my end wasn't fear. It was calculation. I had heard men like him before, in jungles, deserts, basements without windows. They all thought leverage gave them power. "She's crying, old man," he continued, "begging. If you stall, I'll send her back to you in pieces." I let him talk, let him believe he owned me, but my pulse stayed steady. My mind didn't flinch, because while he was measuring me as a butcher, he had no idea I had lived another life, a life built on shadows, exits, and kill counts. 295. That was the number I'd stopped on, the number I swore I would never raise again. Until he touched what was mine. My daughter's voice leaked faintly in the background of the call, muffled sobs, rope scraping skin. I clenched the counter until my knuckles whitened. This wasn't random. Someone had whispered my name into the wrong ear. The gangboy thought I was just an aging butcher with failing hands and dull knives. But there are details you never bury. How I move when I'm threatened, how silence replaces panic. They laughed when I asked around about them later that night. A gang, loud and reckless, drunk on drugs and borrowed power. They thought the world was theirs. They thought she was theirs. But the truth lay in my own reflection in the butcher's window. The man staring back wasn't broken. He was sharpening. And deep beneath the surface, rage stirred. Controlled. Patient. I didn't storm the streets. I didn't raise alarms. I studied. Phone records led me to a warehouse address. Surveillance cameras caught them coming and going. I charted rotations, careless patterns, weak points in security. They laughed louder with each day, thinking time worked in their favor. Time has never been their ally. Time is the blade that sharpens in silence. I counted doors, shadows, distance to cover. I noted who smoked, who argued, who carried weapons they didn't know how to use. The gang had no discipline. They were already dead. They just hadn't realized it. Every night I visited my daughter's empty room. The stuffed bear on her bed was the only witness to the storm building inside me. I promised it quietly. She would come back. Untouched. Unbroken. The third night I moved. The warehouse smelled of gasoline, blood, and arrogance. They had tied her in a side room, laughing as if she were nothing more than currency. I dismantled them methodically, one by one. No sound but their last breaths filling the dark. I didn't rush. I let each movement carry the weight of years I had tried to bury. When I untied her, her eyes were wide, wet with terror and relief. She whispered, "Daddy?" I pressed a finger to my lips. Not yet, because the phone in my pocket buzzed again. The same voice, arrogant still, unaware he was calling into silence surrounded by corpses. "Ready to talk now, butcher?" he sneered. I answered with steady calm. "Your men won't answer. They're all lying at your feet, even if you don't see them yet." His laughter broke, jagged. "Bullshit. You asked who I was," I said, my voice low, cold. "I stopped counting at 295. Tonight, your men carried me closer to 300. I could hear his breath shorten, his mask slipping, his world crumbling. "What the hell are you?" he whispered. I smiled, though he couldn't see it. "I'm the end you invited." And then I whispered the line that froze him. "You'll be my 300th. Look behind you." The line went dead, but his scream before it cut, raw, primal, was enough. Later, as I carried my daughter home, her head pressed against my chest, she asked no questions. Children sense truths without words. I laid her in bed, the bear back in her arms. Her breathing slowed into sleep. Innocence salvaged, at least for tonight. I sat alone in the dark kitchen, hands steady, mind silent. 295 had become 300. The number didn't haunt me anymore. It completed me. Because the truth is simple. I am not a butcher. I am the shadow men like him never see coming. And when they touch what is mine, I remind them, quietly, brutally, why my past should have stayed buried. I am the ghost they summon with arrogance, and the silence that buries them forever.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.